Hello and welcome back to another installment of our tutorial, our tip calculator tutorial, and in the last episode we had some trouble. Every time we created a new row in our split bill part here, it put the, instead of putting the row where we wanted it to go, it put them in progressively higher places in our app. So that was because the row number kept changing because we kept adding new rows up here above the split bill part. So the best way to fix this is to keep track of how many customers we've created in the app, and then once we've done that, we'll be able to count how many rows each new row in the split bill part needs to go and put it there. So how do we keep track of how many customers our app has? One easy way to do it would just be to have an integer or a number that just goes up at 1 every time that a guy clicks the Add Diner button. But this is actually a decent opportunity to add some better organization to our programming. So instead of keeping track of just a number, let's actually keep track of a diner object. Now, what exactly is a diner in the terms of what our app knows about diners? Well, a diner essentially is one edit text that says his name, all the edit text associated with what items he's ordered. Oh, and one add item image button here, as well as one text view that has his name, and another text view that has all that he owes for his portion of the bill. So those are the objects, as far as our app is concerned, that is associated with any one particular diner. So let's make an organizational unit out of that. Let's create an object called diner that keeps track of everything related to one diner. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing that exists that we can import that is an object called a diner that does exactly what we needed to do. So we need to create a new object, and the way to create an object is, of course, as we've been talking about, create a class or a blueprint first for that object. So let's create a class. Right-click your package under the source folder, go to New, and click Class. And here you can leave everything the same. Change the name to Diner, because we're going to create a Diner class that organizes all our stuff. Now, Eclipse does not give us much code here because we didn't tell it to, but here we have the definition for our Diner class and the package information. So for every class, or for most classes, you're going to need something called a constructor. A constructor is a method that is automatically run whenever you create or instantiate an object from that class. It constructs the object based on what is inside the constructor method. So let's create the constructor. And the way to designate a method as the constructor is you just name the method the same thing as the class name. So we're going to create a public method called diner, and that's going to be our constructor. Now, every time we create a new diner object, this code right here is going to be run automatically. So again, what did we say was a diner? We said it was some edit text, an image button, and then 2 text views. So let's declare those as variables that our diner object or our diner class can use. And we're going to use public. Now, if you have any programming experience with object-oriented programming, you're going to probably think that we shouldn't use public, we should use private, because of something called encapsulation. And that's true. But since this is a beginner's tutorial, I'm going to ignore encapsulation and the particular programming norms associated with it. And we're just going to talk about that in another tutorial. And also, there really is no huge need to make this private, since security is a non-issue for an app this simple. Okay, so let's make some public attributes or variables. We said an edit text. We'll call it et name because that'll be the edit text for the guy's name, for the diner's name. Another edit text called et first order. And of course we need to import the code for edit texts. Hold on. What's going on? Oh, sorry, I'm putting it in the wrong part of the code. It goes down here, of course. Import these edit texts. An image button and 2 text views. And import the code that lets us use these things right here. Okay, so these are the things that are associated with a dyno when it's first created, these 5 things. Now, let's put them in the constructor. So, let's put these as arguments in our constructor. Sorry. Okay, so what we did here is, for our constructor, the thing that gets run automatically, it takes 5 things as arguments. It takes 2 edit texts, which are the 2 that are created automatically when you create a new diner. It takes an image button, which is created automatically when you create a new diner, or when you click the Add Diner button, and 2 text views. Again, things that are created automatically when we click the Add Diner button, which is this code here. And you'll notice that I use the same names here as we did in the code here. That's not necessary, but that makes it easier for us to remember what this is for. Okay, so for this, let's just go and create or set our variables up here equal to the arguments that we passed. Do we even need to cast it? I don't think so. No, we don't. Okay. Okay, let's talk about what this does. So basically, when we create a diner, our constructor runs. And our constructor takes these 5 things as an argument. And once it has these 5 things, it creates the object by setting all 5 of these things that our diner has and sets it equal to the things that it got from the arguments. So basically, okay, maybe the best way to explain is to actually put it in the code. So right now we have all this information. We create 5 things for our, or whenever the Add Diner button is pressed, we create an edit text, another edit text, an image button, a text view, and another text view. So let's associate all those 5 things with a diner object. So diner equals new diner. So what exactly is this? Well, we're saying create a new object or variable that holds a diner object and call it diner, lowercase, and set it equal to a new diner object, and we pass the following 5 arguments into the constructor. Again, these are the 5 things that we created when we hit Add Diner button. And because we did this, we now have a new diner object, again, called diner, and associated with it are, or right here in the constructor, it's set all 5 of its elements equal to the 5 things we just created. And this is basically an organizational element that we can use. That is to say, we created an object that holds the 5 things that we just generated, and now we have this one object that relates to all of them, that keeps track of all of them and organizes them into one thing that we can use. And as for what we do with this one thing, this diner object we just created, sorry, what is this? Oh, that's weird. Did I miss something here? Let me see. That's... Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like we actually have to move this code down. Oh wait, that's not right. Public diner is... Oh, sorry, it's because we didn't save the diner thing. There we go. Now that it's saved, it should fix itself, and it did. Okay, anyway, so like I was saying, we created... once we're done adding all these things, we create a new object to hold all of them and tie them together. And now we have this organizational unit we can use in the rest of our code. And as for what exactly we use it for, that's something we'll go over in the next video. For now, know that we made a new class called Diner, and now every time we create a bunch of stuff, we create an object called Diner that holds all this stuff together and represents one individual diner as far as our app is concerned. Okay? If it doesn't make total sense just yet, don't worry too much about it. You'll see how it's used in the next video. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hey guys, I'm sorry, just one thing I want to point out. I took a look at the written version of this tutorial, and I had this image button called IB add order, not add item. So just if you want to follow this tutorial exactly, you can go ahead and just change that to add order instead of IB add. So IB add order instead of IB add item. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, see you guys in the next tutorial.